Breaking news, the world just got wrecked by Project Chimera, a massive data breach that spilled millions of people's secrets across the internet, bank account, private message, even the stuff you thought you deleted. All of it. But here's the creepy part, an AI called Cassandra. Let's call it Cassandra. I don't know how people say this word. Cassandra saw it coming, literally predicted the spill before it happened. Forget Nostradamus. This is digital fortune teller. Cassandra wasn't just some random chatbot spitting out the horoscope that you see on TikTok and Instagram. This thing was built by Veritas Lab, and it gave a specific warning about Project Chimera months before the scandal broke. And what did the whole human in charge do? They brushed it off. I swear, it was like that scene in the Empire Strikes Back when C-3PO is losing his shiny golden mind, screaming that the odds of surviving the asteroid field is 3,700 to 1, and Han just smirks and does it anyway. Like, hello? So now, the question isn't just how did Cassandra predict one of the biggest scandals of our time? It's what else could it predict? Political cover-up, celebrity divorce, maybe even the next election, my next mistake, your next mistake. Because if this AI is correct once and then twice, imagine the chaos in the world if it's right every single time about certain subject. Imagine someone telling you the exact winning lottery number 2 weeks before the draw, and you didn't believe it until every single number lined up perfectly in front of your eyes. That's the level of creepy accuracy Cassandra hit with Project Chimera. Cassandra wasn't just guessing like a fortune teller. It was crunching our data like a nosy neighbor, reading everyone's mail at once and scan mountain of financial transaction, logging in attempt, hidden file transfer that the way a teacher would notice a small pattern a student in cheating on a test. Individual, though flip mean nothing, but it was like Sheldon seeing the pattern of the star out of nowhere. It's stitched together. Cassandra saw the shape of the monster weeks before the world did. Statistically, the odds of hitting that prediction by chance, like if you and me are guessing, is slimmer than flipping a coin 15 times in a row or watching the jumping bridge in Squid Game 50 steps and landing on the correct answer every single time. Think about that. When the math is that impossible, remember the scene when the guy was calculating how much of a chance that he would get to the other side of the bridge? Double that. That is when coincidence stopped being an option, and that's when Veritas Lab cannot brush it off as random luck anymore, and that's why they had to go tell the world, hey, the machine was right. And then comes the scarier part. If Cassandra could see Chimera forming, what else is already seen in the background? You're listening to what happened on the internet on the Daily Avocado podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Nick. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you found your way into this chaotic corner of the internet. Here we gossip about a gossip. I digest netizen reaction, overanalyze stranger love life, and today we gossip about AI. Cassandra, the billion-dollar worth fortune teller machine. We will go into what the heck is it, how it does this magic thing, and what are the people's attitude toward the thing. that it does. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. I know you have been waiting for me to talk about AI, so here it is. As usual, I have to mention that English is not my first language. I hope you will understand me. The topic today is above the technicality of my tongue level, so really good luck. All right, let's get down to business. Cassandra was screaming fire weeks before the flame broke out. Veritas Lab told her to calm down. Imagine the frustration that poor machine might have felt. It saw the iceberg, it screamed iceberg, and the captain just don't seem to hear it. The flag data pointed wasn't a vague warning. It was red sirens. Cassandra spotted unusual transfer from ghost accounts, login attempt from impossible location. Some guy logged in and tried to scam from a mountain somewhere, and a sudden cluttering of employees' badge scanned at odd hour. Okay, to a human that looked like random digital noise, but to Cassandra, it was a clear as seeing Paul Spring leading straight to a hungry wolf. The earring part, it didn't just flag fraud incoming. It's timestamp when the bridge would denote it and which system would fall first. Ignoring Cassandra was like ignoring your smoke alarm. Why? Just because you have an inability to smell the smoke. You build a machine to tell you if something is up and ignore it just because the consequence is too big to deal with right now. How many disasters we already ignore because humans didn't want to listen to the machine? Should we start listening to the machine more now? All right. Winning the lottery ticket once is just luck. Winning it twice in a row, you call that impossible. Cassandra didn't just win. It broke the math behind probability itself. Let's break it down. Cassandra model predicted Chimera with a confidence level so high it may as well have been cheating. In statistic, randomness follow pattern like dice roll, messy, noisy, and impossible to predict, unpredictable. Cassandra's prediction wasn't messy like dice. It was laser sharp. To put it in perspective, rolling a dice and get 6, not once, not twice, but 100 times in a row. That's the kind of coincidence we're talking about. When probability bend, reality bend too. You're no longer dealing with chance. You're staring at a system that understands the hidden pattern behind the game. And that's what shook data scientists out of their skepticism and soon in few years probably out of their job. Because if Cassandra can outplay probability this one time, what happened when it turned the lens on election, market, or even war? The moment Project Chimera went public, the internet got frozen. Not because of the million of leaked accounts. That was bad enough. And that was, we kind of living in the era at the time of the century, that we just accept that sometime our data got leaked and we as normal citizens, we just accept. Some shit happened, we help someone fix it. But because Cassandra had called it out weeks before, it was like watching a magician pull out a rabbit out of a hat and accept the rabbit was your stolen credit card and someone already told the people in charge, please, this is gonna happen, and they just didn't listen to it. I'm just a normal common user, but I hope that the people in charge, please at least let us know. Let us know that there is this kind of prediction. Don't come out with a prediction after they already happened and say, hey, sorry. The people on the internet and probably the people who read the news, they do know how to feel. On one side, there was like me, or like the world have just witnessed the birth of the digital oracle. We can use it for the good thing. We can apply it into seeing on the disaster and avoid them. On the other side, there was fear. And the fear side, I can see their point of view too. Okay, I'm also a little bit fearful by this point after all of this research, because if an AI could predict $1 billion fraud, what else was it silently watching? Is it watching everyone and we just don't matter enough for it to signal anything? The divide was sharp among people. Some would look at Cassandra as a superhero, others saw as a stalker. The big brother vibe, just looking behind the curtain. Imagine a neighborhood when someone rings on doorbell, not only to record the crime, but also to predict the next crime that will happen. Half of the neighborhood would feel safer. Actually, I mean, okay, he know that 3 p.m. Tuesday, there will be a robbery happening in Tony's house. So let's go gather at Tony's house and see what happened. The other half would want to burn the camera down, burn the company down, kill the guy, okay? Cassandra wasn't just a tool, it was a mirror reflecting society's deepest paranoia about surveillance and control. We are okay with surveillance and control. We know that we under suffer, we under watch. We okay with that. It's totally fine. I am okay with that. I cannot tell it for you. And we are under control. Management law by citizen, that is under the control, right? But just because the thing is in its infancy and the accuracy level of it is above what we can comprehend is scary. This was just the public reaction. Behind closed door, government and cooperation wasn't debating feelings like we do. They was brainstorming idea to keep control of a game that they seem to be losing, suddenly just lost. The public was split down in the middle. The tech optimistic treated Cassandra like a prophet who could save humanity from its own mess. Oh, we can make more of it, more of this kind. To them, it was no different from a weather forecast, except instead of storm, it's predict fraud and scandal. And maybe if it gets even better, we can predict more things. But skeptics saw a darker forecast. If Cassandra could track criminal footprint, then it could just as easily to track private people footprint. Think of it like a security guard who suddenly learned how to read mind. Half of the crowd would cheers and the other half would run for their life. Cassandra forced people to confront an uncomfortable truth. Prediction and surveillance are two sides of the same coin. You have to observe and understand enough to predict. And depending on which side you are on, Cassandra was either humanity's best friend or the biggest enemy. The split wasn't just online. It shaped the policy, the funding, and fear. If it can predict politics, it's already scary. If it can predict war on the investment, step and planning would go toward the outcome of it. And nowhere was the ripple stronger than on the office of the security firm and government agency. Let me explain why. If the public was shocked, the big guy, the institution, they got panicked. Cassandra had just proven it could outperform billion-dollar industry overnight. For data security firm and government agency, which is a lot of money is streaming into right now, this is not a miracle. This is a warning shot. This is the thing that say you are going to lose your job really soon. Security companies suddenly look outdated, like candle shop watching the first light bulb flicker on. The government meanwhile worry less about Cassandra prediction scandal and more about Cassandra predicting them. The ripple effect was immediate. Cybersecurity contract was questioned, budget was redirected, and the quiet arm race for predictive AI just began. It's like a chess master realizing a 5 years old can see 3 moves ahead, humble, embarrassing, and terrifying all at once. Instead of focusing on Chimera itself, the conversation shift into who control Cassandra, who get to use it, and what happened if someone on the bad side with a bad brain and a bad intention build something that is stronger, better. The scandal was no longer about stolen data. No, we don't care about Chimera. We don't care if our money gets stolen from the bank. It was about who owned the future of foresight. Suddenly, the world just turned into the last movie of Twilight. Who will get Alex? If Cassandra see the future, who get to hold the crystal ball? The scientists who built it, the corporation who funded it, or the government that can weaponize it? The first ethical dilemma isn't about whether Cassandra can predict. Well, it's about who controls those predictions. Knowledge is power, and power in the wrong hand turns quickly into abuse. Think about the school gossip who hear everyone's secret. If they decide to expose someone, they become more powerful than the teacher. Cassandra is that gossip, and on a global stage. Imagine if it predicts a corporate collapse. Does the company get a private warning, or does the public have the right to know? Does the government use it to prevent chaos, or to quietly protect its ally while punishing the enemy? Are we heading to have one single government govern everything all at once thanks to technology? Or it will be a race between different countries? The AI itself isn't biased. You feed it the data, you ask for the result, it comes out. But the hand that control the warning are, and that's where the danger multiplies. The internet promised anonymity. Cassandra laughed at that promise. With predictive AI, hidden online is like trying to disappear in a glass house. Privacy have always been fragile. Well, but Cassandra make it practically impossible. Traditional surveillance catch what you did. Cassandra catch what you're about to do. That's the difference between a security camera and a fortune teller who never wrong, who can see your search question. Imagine living in a neighborhood where every single step you take leaves a footprint that glows in the dark. Cassandra doesn't just see them, it's know where you headed, what is your intention. Suddenly, if you want to be anonymous online, it's very, very unlikely. It's math impossible. And once the curtain is gone, how long before government and companies start treating prediction itself as proof? That's not just scary. It's an upgrade. If Cassandra say that you or I committed fraud in 2030, or we have the intention to harm myself or other people, do you get arrested today? Predictions sound protective until it becomes punishment for crime that haven't even happened. Imagine if some police just show up at your house tomorrow just because the AI tell them that you're about to do something bad. I mean, if you're about to do something bad, that's really good. But what if it's wrong? What if, do you want police to be up your ass for AI reason? Because AI tell them to. The slippery slope is obvious. Once predictive AI gain credibility, the temptation to act on it become overwhelming. Government could justify anything when they want. Employers can fire based on future misconduct. The court may treat probability like evidence. Imagine going to court when this happened. Think of it like a weather app predicting rain, but you carry the umbrella, or would you try to blow the cloud away? Okay, that sounds too weird and I go too far, but that is exactly the logic that we are trying to communicate here. Prediction become manipulation when it's changed the behavior and punishment before the action take place. If Cassandra word become the law, we stop being judged for what we do and start being judged for what we may do, and that's not prevention, it's control. So where does this leave us? In one future, Cassandra is the global watchdog and saves us from disaster, which is what I believe. However, as much as I love AI and as much as I have absolute belief in AI, again, I have not the belief I have my fear, I have my doubt. I'm not that gullible. This is why we need more rules and framework and boundaries and testing time and see how the public will accept it. How can we use, you have a tool, right? You have a tool, you have to try it out, you have to learn how to use it, you have to learn how to not cut yourself and cut other people, because without all of these testing time and regulation, Cassandra doesn't just predict scandal, it already bright the future for us. The real question is simple. If an AI can see tomorrow, do humans still get a choice in how tomorrow turn out? Cassandra could be humanity guardian angel, and I think it's as the AI enthusiastic, I hope it will. Or it's prison warden. In one future, it saves us from disaster before they happen. In another, it chains us to prediction that we cannot escape. Now you're talking about free will. This is, will we still have any free will? AI future is conflict, and both sides are equally possible. And as a global watchdog, Cassandra could be the firefighter who can smell the smoke since yesterday, giving us time to react and save life. But in the wrong hand, it could become a tool of control, punishment people, not for what they have done, but for what they have made do. Oh my God, protection and control look almost identical until you realize who is the one that holds the power. Cassandra isn't not danger, it's a machine. It's the intention that people still do. That is what we're wondering here. The real future does not depend on Cassandra core. It depends on whether we treat it like a watchdog or a weapon. Technology always moves faster than the rule. And the problem here is that if some country choose to stick with the rule and other don't, more chaos will come. But again, Cassandra waiting is not an option. Without boundary, prediction turns into exploitation. And I don't know, I guess my country where I live, they will try to test it out. History has told this pattern before. Car needs traffic light, bank need regulation, and the internet need privacy law. Though we're catching up on that one, the last one, Cassandra is no different. Without clear ethical framework, it's like giving a teenager the key to the sport car with no brake. Regulation is not about limiting the progress. They're about making sure the progress doesn't crash into the rest of us. Ethical framework set the safe path, deciding when to act on Cassandra prediction, who get to access and how these insights are used. Without them, we gambling on trust. And trust is not a very good strategy because if we don't write the rules for Cassandra now, someone else, someone that's less ethical, I hope not, they probably will. Humanity have always defined itself by free will, the messy, the unpredictable choice that make us who we are, that we're so proud of. But Cassandra threatened to iron out that mess, leaving only what is prediction that we'll do. It's like living our life on GPS navigation. Sure, it gets you to the destination, but the detour, the wrong turn, the random adventure, they disappear. That's the risk of AI predicted work. I think people will use it to predict and prevent disaster if it's in the right hand. Efficient is the cost of spontaneity, yes, but we can be spontaneity whenever we want to. I hope that we still can do that. If we're not careful, we may end up mistaking Cassandra's script for our own decision, like fulfilling the prophecy. The question isn't whether Cassandra is accurate, it's whether accuracy is worth giving up our agency, the feeling that we are in charge of our action and behavior. Because in the end, the scariest prediction is not about scandal or fraud. It's the possibility that AI could make the future happen and the humanity powerless to change what was predicted. We officially hit the era where we don't just gossip about people, we gossip about robots. Gossip may sound petty, but it's actually the peak of human intelligence. Remembering who's good and who is bad and guessing what's going on in the other person's head is what gossip is about. And now we're pointing at we're using the same instinct that we have as humankind at AI. And think about it. Gossip is basically running a metal detective agency. We collect the memory like case file on information, we track the behavior, and then you play psychologist guessing the motive. That's not small talk, that's advanced neural network in your brain. And here we are, if we're treating AI the way that we treat the nosy neighbor, we're asking, has AI been behaved well lately? It's been shady? Have it show us any sign that it will use the amazing ability that it can do to do harm? Has it done something that make us raise our eyebrows at dining table? This story may, but it's still in its infancy. And that's all for today, AI Gossip. My name is Nhi, and I'm looking for a boyfriend. You gotta be as attentive as Jack